Welcome back to CountyLine TV. Drift season starting in basically no time. Event hosted by Riverside in like a week, and then or 2 weeks, and then exactly 2 weeks after that, we're hosting an event ourselves. Ryan from UK and I. If you don't have the deets on that, I'll link that video here. Gotta get some work done on my drift car, the Corvette. My other drift car will be getting some work done soon, but kind of on the back burner. This car already runs and drives. Before I can work on this car, we got to work on my Camaro, which you guys haven't seen in a while, or maybe ever if you're new to the channel. So if you haven't seen it, here it is. Lifted 5 inches, roll cage. Use this for rallycross. It is V6 5-speed, and we gave it some giggly gas. And I'm actually going to be taking the nitrous kit out of this car, putting it in this car. I had the button right there on my shifter on this car, but we are going to be going to a wide open throttle switch with a window switch on this car, so it'll be a little safer than that car was. But the rally car I didn't really care about. I got this car for like $200 or $250, shout out Zach, and then, you know, didn't invest that into it minus the nitrous kit, which I knew eventually would be going to this car. That's a lot of talking. Let's go ahead and get the nitrous kit out of this car. I'm not going to film any of that. I'm just going to get it all out, get it on a table, and then we'll see what we're doing with the Corvette. So we got the Camaro stripped out, kind of. I actually left quite a bit of stuff in there, but most of it I won't be using because I'm trying to make this kit a little more legit. So really all we pulled out of that was the bottle. We left the bottle bracket, the solenoids, the nozzle, and the button. That's all we took. The rest of it I'm leaving because that's really all I need. And then I ordered a bunch of stuff. I actually am doing a pretty custom, so to speak, kit for this car. I'll have roughly $650, $700 invested in this, but it'll be way more legit than even like if I bought a plug and play kit for the Corvette. So I'm super hyped to actually do this, but I'll show you what we got. So this is what I pulled out of the Camaro, was just the nozzle and the 2 solenoids. I left the wires attached. They go to the button, and then the bottle. This is a spare bottle I've got. We'll start here. We'll just go right to left because this is Japan or something. But this is a fancy type, super legit bottle bracket. Way nicer than the flimsy kind that comes with the NX kit. And the NX kit, I'm not joshing them for coming with a flimsy bracket. That's just, it's a super cheap kit. This is not a cheap bottle bracket. This costs a third of what the kit costs for that. But anyway, these are fused relays. I buy those in bulk because I use the hell out of them. But here's some A-line stuff. I'm going to make all my own lines, custom length or whatever. We're going to start with the bottle bracket and work all the way forward. Moving here, this is a window switch, the same one that you saw me put in that car up there, which you kind of didn't see a lot of because wiring is pretty boring to film. But here's a gauge that I'm actually not going to be running on the bottle like it's designed to do. I'm actually going to be running this up that hole in the dash right over there. I'm going to be running it on a plate that I'm going to glue or screw or something into my dash up there. So that's where that's going to go. We're also, that's the tap I got to use or whatever. Random miscellaneous 4A and fittings laying everywhere. This is going to be my purge solenoid. Oh, got a bag full of jets from previous projects and stuff. Arming switch, another fitting that I'll need. Some more fittings, more jets, another fitting that I'll need. We got lots of stuff. The top of the bottle will be roughly right in there somewhere. We'll run the line down underneath my center console and up in the dash to the plate where the gauge will be, and then we'll run from there into the engine bay, where one of those fittings actually goes on the end of my fuel rail, and I'll mount my fuel solenoid right here, and I'll run the nitrous line up and have both solenoids right here, and we'll tap into my throttle body somewhere. that'll be the nitrous line routing. Other than that, it's just the wiring, which again, if you want to see the wiring portion, let me know and I'll film that the best that I can. But in my opinion, I just feel like it'd be really boring. So like I can film it, and I will. I'll post this video before I wire it. That way if you guys want to see it, I will film it. The plumbing portion, the building brackets, making the plate for the dash, that stuff's entertaining. I don't feel like the wiring is entertaining, but if you want to see it, drop a comment down below. I will film it. Ignore the mess back here. There's been a lot of off-season crap going on. So there's like a mess that's accumulated back here, but most of it's trash. Most of it's getting thrown away. Interior piece I'm getting rid of, blah, 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 whatever. But anyway, I put fitting on here, if it's like a 45. I can't decide if I want to put the nitrous bottle right there where it's sitting right now, or if I want to move the battery box in, or maybe like under the panel under here or something. But I kind of want to move the battery box a little further in and down and put the nitrous bottle on that side of the roll cage bar, because it'll fit right there, and that'd be pretty sweet. It'd be a lot easier to, because the back of the car is back here and I gotta like lean over real hard to get it in there where it's at. But if it was on this side of the bar, I could come from over here and lay it right in. It'd be real simple. So I think I'm gonna do that. I think I'm gonna move it over there. So we're gonna basically kind of use that as a mock-up point for where our line is going to go, but kind of not. But I'm going to run the line up and mark it where I got to cut it next. Obviously I'll just wrap some tape around it to mark it. So I left myself a little bit of slack right here, because I don't know how high up the bottle is really going to be, if it's going to be there, if it's going to be here. But I'll be able to tuck it the rest of the way under this carpet. It's kind of hanging out right there right now. But I'll be able to tuck it the rest of the way under there. And then it goes under the center console. You can see it go through right there with actually one of my A and brake lines as well. And then it comes up, and you can see where it goes. Right up in here somewhere is where my gauge will be. So I'm going to give myself some slack right here too, and I'm probably going to cut it closer to this side of the hole in the dash, because I don't know exactly where I want the gauge at. Like if I want it up there for the best chance of seeing it from the driver's seat, or if I want it over here. I don't know where I'm going to want that, so time will tell. But for now, at least I know that if I cut it over here, I'll still be able to hide it, because it'll just like, it'll push back like so. No big deal. So I'm going to cut it over here. Just my luck, man. I was pulling the nitrous, or A-line, nitrous line out from under that portion of the center console and dash. And I was like pulling on it. And when it finally came out, I managed to, where's it at? Where's it at? Oh, right there. I managed to destroy my thumb on that screw right there. That hurt. I'm pretty sure that thing went all the way to the bone. Big yikes. So just for laughs, I went ahead and threaded that onto the bottle nut there. And the line is ran underneath there and underneath there. You can see it there, just like before. And she's landed right there right now. Which that brings us to our next component. Happens to be a gauge. Where's my gauge at? Oh, it's back here. That's where we're gonna put. Obviously I've already had it open once, but let's get this unpackaged and see what we can do. barely fits in that bag. So once you get this, you can see it's supposed to be threaded onto the bottle nut, and then you're just supposed to run your feed line off of it. But since we're like mounting it remotely, I'm going to put a male-to-male fitting there, which so -4 male to -4 male. This is a Mishimoto, not sponsored, but whatever. Thread that on there, and then I'll be able to run my line in and out, or vice versa. It really doesn't matter. This thing just reads pressure. So I will now be able to run my line to that and situate it in the car. I also, when I put the end on that line, I also put an end on one side of the rest of the line, and I put a 90 on there because I'm pretty freaking sure that when we come out of the gauge, there we go, finally focused. When we come out of the gauge here, up under there, we're gonna wanna go straight to the front of the car. So I went in and put a 90 there. Just kind of planning ahead since I was already over there at the vise fixing up lines. So this will make way more sense here in just a second whenever I get my fuel solenoid mounted. But anyway, the nitrous line right now is coming out from the dash back there, and it's running up along the back of the motor. And I think I'm going to run it underneath my fuel rails crossover there, just on that side of the intake, and not the solenoid under there. But like I said, it'll make more sense here in just a second. I'm gonna tape that up and cut it. I think I'm gonna put a straight fitting on it. Man, making AN lines is like kind of tedious, kind of easy, but like I've stabbed my fingers so much, it's unreal. Like every one of my fingers is bleeding, I swear. This one the worst, but that's not from an AN line. So this is part of this project that I've been very nervous about. When you remove this cap off of the fuel rail, and then you take a regular valve core remover like what you use when you change tires, you should be able to pop this Schrader valve out of the fuel rail. Okay, so that's out. And then supposedly the end of this fuel rail is just -4, so I bought a -4 female fitting that converts it to 1/8 NPT. That thread's on tight. Ooh, the internet may have not lied to me this time. So it's looking like I can tighten that right up. And then I'll put a little tape on there, but just for demonstrative purposes. Since I don't have my tape with me right now, I should be able to crack this back loose. Very counterproductive, I know. But I should be able to thread this into here, kind of turn my solenoid flat. That way it's not in the way, but I should be able to, oh yeah, I can thread that right into that solenoid, tighten that back up to the rail. And that's what it'll look like after I'm done. I gotta go get some plumber's tape, but that's what it'll look like. Man, that's freaking sick! That's awesome. So I don't have to run any fuel line or anything. I just go straight to the rail, and then I can come over here and tap into my throttle body. Mint! That is awesome. And easy as that, we're actually done with plumbing the nitrous and the fuel. So that's gonna be it for this video. I'll give you one last quick little walkthrough. We came out of the nitrous bottle there, went through the interior, hit the gauge there, went through the firewall, came out of the firewall in the engine bay, up behind the engine, under the fuel rail to the solenoid. That's the nitrous. Fuel is super easy, goes right on the end of the fuel rail, and then into our lines for our nozzle over there, which is not mounted. I just tucked that under there for looks. I'm not exactly sure where I'm going to drill and tap that just yet. I think I might move my IAT to the other side, just extend the wires over to the other side of the intake, and actually put a little plate and drill and tap right there where the IAT is right now. Not really sure. That's a good option though. So plumbing is done. Next video, we'll bust out that super fancy bracket and make a bracket for our nitrous bottle to mount on the cage. And then we'll also build a plate for that hole you can see up there where the gauge is in the next video. Then we'll move on to wiring. And this will be a nitrous powered C5 Corvette drift car. Super excited. Hope you guys enjoy this type of stuff. I really enjoy making power out of cars, so it's pretty fun for me. Making AN lines is tedious, but it just makes it so much nicer when everything is the length you want it, instead of like this car over here had a bunch of nitrous line coiled up right there because that line is like 20 feet long. But anyway, I'm super happy. I'm ecstatic. I guess I'll see you guys in the next video. Oh, and don't forget to tell your mom to subscribe.